From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
Hello, and welcome to The Pulse. I'm Marissa Taché.
And I'm Dom Daniele. Today, we're taking a look at all the changes coming to Sacred Heart, including an update on the Bobby Valentine Athletic Center. And we'll go behind the scenes of Sacred Heart's latest theatrical production, Hair.
But first, the last week of March was Social Justice Week at Sacred Heart, a collaborative effort by the Office of Mission and Catholic Identity and La Hispanidad. Together, the two groups organized a series of events throughout the week in order to bring attention to social justice. Our reporter Ryan Toohey has more.
March 25th through the 29th was Social Justice Week at Sacred Heart, a collaborative effort produced by the Office of Mission and Catholic Identity and La Hispanidad. Together, the two groups organized a series of events throughout the week in order to bring social justice to the attention of others.
So the purpose of Social Justice Week is to help educate the community about diversity and multicultural issues, specifically about diversity, inclusion, equity, access. Every year there's a different theme. So this year our theme is talking more about activism and how students, faculty, and staff can be more active members in their community.
La Hispanidad co-president Daphne Franco discussed the planning process that the two organizations undergo in order to set up the week.
So once we have our theme, what we do is that we send out proposals that people can come up with. So we'll have different clubs that be like, oh, we think we can do this event that would go with the theme. And then they submit that, and then we review it, and then from there we choose the events for the week. So it's really cool because different clubs do different things that relate to different social justice events or things that people don't even know about.
Both Franco and Wagner touched upon what social justice has meant to each of them personally.
The biggest impact, I think, would be just seeing everyone come together, because I feel like, sometimes when everyone's at school, they're all independent, doing their own thing, but, with this week, you really see everyone come together.
What inspires me about the week is really the students. What I do and why I work at a university is because of students. And to be able to see a group of student leaders realize that there needs to be more education about this particular topic is really empowering, particularly because I'm very passionate about these different initiatives or topics in general. And so I think that when students are voicing something and voicing a concern and wanting to educate the community, that's just super empowering and gets me going. And that's kind of why I do it, and I'm a part of it every year, is because it energizes me to keep me going for the rest of the semester and into the summer.
For The Pulse, this is Ryan Toohey, Fairfield, Connecticut.
In 2018, cancer took 9.6 million lives. The American Cancer Society holds events every year across the country that raise money for research, including one right here at Sacred Heart. Drew Thompson has more on how Sacred Heart is walking for a cure.
Battling for my life. So I want to talk to you quickly about being a warrior, because being a warrior is what I am. It's what every one of these survivors are in front of me. It's what every one of you who are out there are right now.
Relay for Life is the signature fundraiser cancer walk for the American Cancer Society. Relay is staffed and coordinated by volunteers in more than 5,200 communities and 20 countries who give up their time and effort because they believe it's time to take action against cancer. Sacred Heart has hosted a Relay for Life event for the past 11 years and has no plan on stopping anytime soon. To a cancer survivor, Relay for Life is an important reminder that they overcame a difficult time. Sacred Heart members explain the importance of hosting such an event here on campus and how it enables students to learn from it.
I've never done Relay for Life before I got to college, and so it was kind of a learning process getting to figure out what the potential for the event could be. But it's really important to me because there's so many people that have been touched not only at Sacred Heart but in our surrounding community.
I believe it shows the sensitivity of the community and the groups, the collegiate groups that organize this. And then I think it also is a reminder to everyone of the courage of people like the survivors, a young lady that spoke today. I think it reminds us that it takes people like her to remind us of the courage that we need to really try to be supportive, to be there present for them. So it's a multifaceted piece, and it reminds us of our obligations, our social conscience that we have to have.
Aside from walking laps, the event has many other activities to participate in. An inflatable rock wall, hula hooping, potato sack races, and Taekwondo demonstrations are just some of the events taking place over the course of the evening. It might look like fun and games from the outside. However, these survivors and sponsors know that Relay for Life is an opportunity to advance the study of cancer while not being overly serious. Survivors meet up at these events, share their journeys, their dreams for the future of cancer research, and other Relay events they've attended.
Constant support. As a survivor, it's very important. It means more research for all of us to survive, not just partial. And that's my dream one day, is for everybody who has cancer, may it be breast, anything, to just survive.
This is my first time at Sacred Heart, and I think it was great. I think it was better than Ludlow, and I've been going to Ludlow for years and years. I'll be a 20-year survivor on June 14th, so I've got a lot of relays under my belt.
Our very own Dr. Patillo has a personal connection with Relay for Life.
Actually, my wife, Sabina, is a 10-year survivor, cancer, 10 years last December, so she and, of course, I make sure we're here every year. But it's a strengthening and reaffirming for her, too.
Relay for Life is a team fundraising cancer walk event where team members take turns walking around a track or designated path. Each event is 6 to 24 hours in length, and each team is asked to have a member on the track at all times to signify that cancer never sleeps.
We hold this event to honor those who have passed, who are currently fighting, and those who have won their battle against cancer.
For The Pulse from Fairfield, Connecticut, I'm Drew Thompson.
Sacred Heart's campus is constantly growing. 2 new dorms, additional classroom space, and an entire upper quad are currently under construction on the main campus. While just down the road, the entire West Campus is being refurbished. The most anticipated addition is the Bobby Valentine Athletic Center.
Yeah, it's so true, Marissa. I mean, the Athletic Center has been under construction for quite some time, but a lot of progress has been made so far.
Yeah, it's a really exciting addition.
There's been a lot of anticipation, both among athletes and non-athletes, since the facility was first introduced. So I went back to bring us up to date. Construction for the Bobby Valentine Athletic Center seems to be almost completed, although it is expected to be fully completed in the fall of 2019. Mr. Valentine is very satisfied with the progress that has been made so far.
The Bobby Valentine Rec Center here at Sacred Heart University is just about complete. We're ready to move equipment in. The bowling alleys are in, the floor for the gym is in, the basketball hoops are in, the running track's in. The rock climbing wall is all built. It's a spectacular 60,000 square feet that will serve this entire campus, and I can't wait for it to open. Probably not for the students until next semester begins, but we'll be breaking it in here during the spring and summer.
Although it seems the center will cater mostly to non-athletes, one Division I team who has just won their 4th NEC title in 11 years will benefit greatly.
Probably the most exciting thing that's happened in 26 years of this program, because lugging 50-pound bowling bags down dorm stairs and all that, I know they're not fond of. So it's going to be amazing to have like a home on campus.
It's just nice and convenient. We'll have like our own lanes, and it'll give us more recognition to the school too. Like they'll know that we have lanes on campus now, so that'll be really cool.
The new athletic center is named after Sacred Heart University's athletic director and former Major League Baseball player and manager Bobby Valentine. This is not the first time Mr. Valentine has pushed for a way to advance athletics in a community that he supports. The Bobby Valentine Sports Academy, located in his hometown, Stamford, Connecticut, features a full turf field, batting cages, weight room, and much more. The academy now trains athletes on other sports besides just baseball and softball. The academy was first created because Bobby wanted to maintain a presence in a community that has shaped his life and successes. According to Sacred Heart University's president, Dr. Patillo, this is the type of attitude that persuaded him to hire Mr. Valentine in the first place.
He's wonderful because he's present to the students, he's present with the athletic programs, and I think that sense of presence really makes the program that much better.
Non-student athletes, such as sophomore and club lacrosse player Johnny Brown, will also benefit from the athletic center, as they will now have another area on campus to exercise.
As a student, you have so many more options because you don't have to worry about the athletes taking over your own space, your own workout benches, your own basketball courts. It's just perfect.
Although the Pitt Center will remain the building where all 855 Division I athletes will practice, the Bobby Valentine Athletic Center can be enjoyed by everyone on campus, student athlete or not.
Oh, this is about Sacred Heart University. Sacred Heart University will benefit from this. The entire student body, all of the student athletes, the rec teams, the club teams. It's all gonna be better once this opens.
According to Sacred Heart University's Vice President of University Advancement, William Reedy, believes that the university will still find ways to further improve the quality of its student experience.
Oh, get going, baby!
If the last 7 years have been any indication for campus, we're always looking for ways to improve and augment and better the student experience, better the athletic experience. So I don't know exactly what will be coming next. There are a couple of projects that we're discussing, but always our focus is on providing a better on-campus experience for students and student athletes.
While Mr. Reedy and Bobby Valentine focus on new ways to enhance campus life, students cannot wait to step foot in the brand new facility.
There's so many opportunities you could do. There's gonna be a juice bar, rock climbing wall, there's gonna be a bowling alley, basketball court. I cannot wait. It's gonna be lit, actually. The Bobby Center is gonna be the time, bro. I'm telling you, that's the spot to be. That's the spot to be next year.
In Fairfield, Dominic Daniele reporting for The Pulse.
As excited as I want to be for this athletic center to be finished, I'm a little jealous because I'm graduating, so I won't be able to use it.
Yeah, I mean, just like what Johnny said, you know, bowling alley, basketball courts, it's just unbelievable.
Insane.
And, you know, like, I definitely want to come back here after
Of
graduation.
course, and we're alum. We're going to come back. We're going to
go.
Coming up, Melanie De Silva is here with a full spring sports update, and Jack Sullivan is sitting down with SHU women's basketball coach Jessica Minetti.
And later, we'll travel back in time to the 60s. So grab your bell bottoms and tie-dye shirts and stay with us.
So I rode to be compassionate and caring because I'm junior and a nursing major, so it's all about helping people.
I wrote down, make people the best version of themselves. Find out who we are, what we stand for, and to become very good at that and have true conviction in life. And that's it.
This campus gives everyone an opportunity to find their major, find their passion in life, and just to make a difference in the world and to prosper and use that knowledge.
Everyone can use a little more love in their life, whether we know them or not.
Welcome back. So, baseball season's here. I'm a Red Sox fan, and they're not doing the best right now.
I'm a Yankees fan, and you know they're not doing that well either, so I feel your pain.
We're off to a great start. Great start.
Even though the first day of spring was March 20th, our spring sports have been in full swing since the middle of February. Here's Melanie De Silva with the spring sports update.
Before we get into our spring sports update, our men's hockey team had an exciting ending to their season. Sportsnet New York announced the creation of a first-of-its-kind weekend hockey festival, Connecticut Ice. It will feature our very own Sacred Heart in the tournament of Connecticut's 4 NCAA Division I men's hockey teams. The Pioneers will square off against Quinnipiac University, University of Connecticut, and Yale University in a 2-round 4-game tournament. The 3-day festival celebrating youth, amateur, and collegiate hockey in the state of Connecticut will kick off at the end of January in 2020 at the Webster Bank Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut. All 4 games of the tournament will be broadcast live on SNY. Moving into our spring season, the women's lacrosse team is currently 2-9 overall and 1-1 in conference play. Sacred Heart is currently tied for 4th place in the NEC standings and only have 5 games left to play. The men's lacrosse team is also tied for 4th place in the NEC standings. The Pioneers' last outing against Bryant University was the first time in program history the Pioneers had ever topped the Bulldogs. The men only have 3 games left of the season as they push to qualify for playoffs. Moving from the turf to the dirt, our softball team is currently 19-21 overall and 4-4 in conference play. The Pioneers are tied for 4th place in the NEC standings, and they are looking to finish the month of April strong. The baseball team is tied for 2nd place in the NEC standings. Sacred Heart is currently 11-19 overall and 5-4 in conference play. The Pioneers have about a month and a half left of their season. Back to you, Marissa.
Though baseball season is in full swing, it was just earlier this month that the Virginia men's basketball team finally got to dance. But how many people actually predicted the Cavaliers would have a comeback of a lifetime? Nikki Zeiner and Laura Green take a look at students' predictions.
In recent years, March Madness has become a national phenomenon. From brackets to baskets, the competition is at an all-time high on our campus. According to ESPN, Americans wager an average of $29 on their brackets, and collectively, fans gambled an estimated $10.4 billion this year. The tournament started with 68 hopeful teams. I asked our students who they thought would go all the way this year. Let's take a look.
Definitely Duke.
Gonzaga.
Duke.
UNC.
UNC.
Duke. Kentucky. Gardner-Webb. Tennessee.
Duke.
UVA.
Fast forward to the championship, let's see who guessed right.
Definitely Duke.
Gonzaga. UNC.
UNC.
Duke. Kentucky. Gardner-Webb. Tennessee.
Duke.
UVA.
From Fairfield, Connecticut, this is Nikki Zeiner and Laura Green for The Pulse.
Speaking of college basketball, it was another successful season for the Sacred Heart women's basketball team. The Pioneers were ranked 3rd in the NEC and made it to the Women's National Invitational Tournament. Coach Jessica Minetti is in the studio with Jack Sullivan talking about the highlights of the season and what the future holds. Jack?
Thanks, Tom, and thanks, Coach Minetti, for talking with us today. So, what were some of the goals you had for your team at the beginning of the season?
Well, the beginning of the season was a fun one for us. We finished out the prior season on a great run. I think we won 6 out of our last 7 games. And so to start the season, we actually began our season in Argentina in August. We went on a foreign tour and we played really good basketball there. We actually played against the Argentinian national team, the 15th ranked team in the world. We had a great game. It was something we were really proud of in terms of the outcome, maybe not so much, but the effort was awesome. So to start off the season, we were really excited about where we had come up to that point, and we had great momentum leading into practices in October. We were already about 10 practices ahead when we got to officially start. So it was really fun to kind of see where we were at and where we were going, and I think our goals, obviously, at the beginning of every season are to hang a banner, right, to win that coveted NEC championship, bring that gold ball home. But I think we also had a great goal to just play our best basketball every single day. You know, there's always that long-term goal, but within that, there are really short-term goals that we need to reach, and that's every day, did you leave everything you had on the court to get better? And I think we started off really strong with that effort, and so that's how we were able to sustain great effort for the continuity of the season.
A lot of effort in every single game. What were some of the highlights of the season? Obviously, the Argentina thing's pretty cool, but what other highlights throughout the season were there?
So Argentina was awesome. Our whole team got to go for 10 days and kind of be immersed in a cultural experience. So that was a great kickoff in terms of how we were able to play basketball on a national stage. But some great highlights throughout the season, I think, were watching Kat Haynes earn her first triple-double. It was the first triple-double in the history of the program. That was incredible. I think the whole team really rallied around her, and we were all really proud of her for such a great effort that she brought in helping us win that game too. I think some highlights, you know, non-specific highlights were we finished the last 10 games of the season with like 7.5 kids. I think being able to win and have success, having gone through injury and a lot of adversity and still be able to stay together and be there for each other, to me, that was a really big highlight. And a lot of the girls had mentioned in our postseason interviews, the weekend that we swept St. Francis and Robert Morris were huge highlights, especially on senior day, a day when we wanted to celebrate these 5 the most, and the team really rallied to be there for them. That was really special.
So you brought up Kat Haynes earlier.
Yeah.
What does it mean to have a player like that on your team?
So it's interesting. In her recruiting process, and I always talk about this with her, it was so funny. She said like 2 words in the interview process. You'd call her, you'd be like, how you doing? She's like, good. So what are you thinking about Shu? It's nice. You know, like she was super shy. She had kind of like this deep voice. She was just a little awkward in the process. And then all of a sudden she committed here, and we knew she was special. We knew she had a super high motor. She played on a really good AAU team. And we knew she had a big upside, but we weren't sure whether we were going to be able to get her there. You know, you never know once they reach this point if they're going to continue to work as hard as they need to work to be great. And so her first year, she really started to come out of her shell and feel comfortable. She played behind 2 starting post players that really were dynamite for us. We won the conference title that year. And the second year she got hurt. She tore a labrum in her hip, and it really gave her a tough time in her recovery. She had to have surgery. So she worked really hard in that off season, and she gained a lot of muscle. And if you saw pictures of her then to now, she really looks like a different kid. That allowed her to start to do the things she did with much more confidence and ability on the floor. So she earned the league's most improved player of the year. Her, I think it was her junior year, technically her sophomore playing year. And from that point on, with that level of confidence, you just watched her grow. Now all of a sudden she has confidence to shoot some threes, to play inside out more, to really be able to be dynamic and efficient under the hoop. And so it was really fun to see her continue development because she decided she wanted to be great, which allowed us to really help her get there.
She had a really impactful season and really influence on her teammates. Now let's go to like a national stage. What was it like playing in the WNIT?
Yeah, the WNIT is cool. I mean, this is the 3rd time in 4 years we've been there. So, I mean, we're super excited that we got to play in the postseason. You know, we played Georgetown, we've played St. John's, we were out in Des Moines, Iowa playing Drake a couple years ago. The WNIT is awesome. It's a great tournament. It's super high levels of competition, things we don't typically see in our non-conference. You know, we want that other opportunity, right, to go to that NCAA tournament, though I think that's what we've been missing. But on the national stage, WNIT is awesome, and I think we were challenged in a lot of different ways by really, really good teams that we had faced to just kind of see where we are outside of the NEC. So that's always fun. But it's an awesome experience, you know, that we get to continue our season when about 200 teams in the country are done, and that's really, really fortunate.
Oh, I think everyone was wishing that during the tournament that we went to the NCAA tournament so the whole school can go.
Yeah, that's true.
So looking forward to next year, who do you see stepping up to really make an impact?
Well, we return Adrienne Haygood, who made NEC all 3rd team this year. And she really is doing a lot of the right stuff. You know, she got a concussion towards the end of the season, so she kind of got out of rhythm, took her a minute to get back in rhythm, but she's really dynamic and really fun to watch. So I think she and Olivia Dabney both did a lot of really positive things. They earned starting positions as freshmen and then sophomores now. They'll be upperclassmen. We have a nice little upperclassmen core returning. You know, you have Allie Murphy returning, who played a lot of point guard for us. You have Jayla Davis, who doesn't get enough recognition. She is kind of a little bit of an unsung hero most games because she just finds a way to get in there and get things done for us. So, you know, Dree, I think, will do a great job for us, putting some numbers on the board, being able to score in the way that she scores in our offense. But we return a nice little core, so I'm excited for the returners, and then we have some really good freshmen coming in that we're excited about too.
I think everyone is excited to see how you are next season.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to have another successful one if you guys keep playing like the way you are.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you very much for coming to talk to us. Back to you, Marissa.
Coming up, we meet the Sacred Heart Theater Arts Program and learn more about their most recent production, Hair. Welcome back. The Sacred Heart University's Theater Arts program celebrated the 60s in their most recent production of Hair. The musical explores a community of young people who are trying to navigate through life and find their identity in a changing world. I've had a love for musicals and the 60s. At the time, the play broke ground in many ways never seen before. Sacred Heart's Theater Arts program performed the world-renowned musical Hair this past month. The show explores freedom, youth, and several controversial issues. The cast and crew discuss what it was like preparing to put on a show as powerful as Hair.
Hair tells the story of this tribe who, at the time, is rioting and protesting the man. You know, we're dealing with, racial integration, civil rights, equality, and more so the Vietnam War. It's a beautiful story. It talks about, the freedom of oppression and fighting the man, and as a young person, is your voice heard, and how do you make it heard?
The cast began rehearsing in the beginning of January and had several cast bonding sessions to understand and get comfortable with some of the controversial topics brought up throughout the show.
Day by day with rehearsals, especially like when we got into blocking and stuff, when we hit a topic that was controversial, like whether that regarded domestic abuse or racism, we'd sit down as a cast and we would all just have like conversations on it, like what we wanted to do to try and like put this topic into light and make it more clear for the audience, and like how comfortable we were with certain things.
It's astonishing and truly, truly sad and unfortunate that we're still dealing with these issues. I mean, like almost 50 years later, we're still dealing with racism and sexism and civil rights and equality and inequality for that matter.
The cast explains that they weren't sure how the audience might react to certain topics brought up throughout the show, and they discuss their biggest challenges.
It was the content matter. We're dealing with, a racism and inequality and sexism and all this thing. It's difficult to deal with.
We were preparing ourselves for the worst with a lot of it, because some of the topics are very sensitive, and we were expecting a lot of people to walk out, maybe get booed. We didn't really know what to expect, so it felt really good that our message was clear to the audience.
Although the show brings up heavy issues, the main theme was love.
The overall message deals with love and harmony and peace, and I think that in today's society and world that we really need more of that.
From the cast, the crew, the creative team, it has been such an amazing experience to be able to be a part of this and help tell this story.
Reporting for The Pulse, I'm Marissa Taché, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Wow, that was some really interesting stuff. So how was it behind the scenes?
It was really interesting to learn more about a lot of the issues brought up in the show and how the cast really had to work hard on, being comfortable with these issues and putting them out in front of an audience. So it was interesting.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap on this year. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful summer break. For The Pulse, I'm Dominic Daniele.
And I'm Marissa Taché. On behalf of The Pulse, good luck to the graduating seniors.
This is the dawning of